Hey there, I'm Lee Ullman here with some big news from the National Young Farmers Coalition. We're partnering with Heritage Radio Network on a special season of The Farm Report. It's all about what's happening with the Farm Bill and how it impacts farmers and eaters.
I am growing diversified vegetables on land that's been in our family for 150 years.
And so with the pandemic, gentrification, property values going up, we had to sell the land and we lost it.
Join us as we uncover the untold stories behind this massive piece of legislation that shapes how we grow our food, what we eat, and so much more.
The problems we have had, those are things that come from earlier Farm Bill and USDA policy, right? Like Earl Butts, get big or get out.
You know, it's my responsibility to know not only what I'm eating, but then like how that all came to be. And realize like, wow, like this piece of legislation, all this money, like it's technically something that I support as a taxpayer.
While Congress debates the next Farm Bill, this is not just an invitation to listen. It's a call to action. Be part of the conversation. Subscribe to the Farm Report on Heritage Radio Network, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Today's program is brought to you by the Museum of Food and Drink, sparking curiosity about food with exhibits you can eat. For more information, visit mofad.org.
You're listening to Heritage Radio Network. We're a member-supported food radio network broadcasting over 35 weekly shows live from Bushwick, Brooklyn. Join our hosts as they lead you through the world of craft brewing, behind the scenes of the restaurant industry, inside the battle over school food, and beyond. Find us at heritageradionetwork.org.
We talk about food, we talk about music, with musical dudes, finger on the pulse, snacky tunes.
I saw it all happened on the golden sheets. In the morning, you were asleep, hazy in your golden days. There was a child moving on a mother's breast, breathing only a dust in the light. But you know it's awfully hard to dream. A night in my mother's arms, black as morning, wearing the lights, glowing so my sister could see. I felt it all, but you know it's awfully hard to talk about it, try to recall the girls when I was 17, a dream.
Hello and welcome to Snacky Tunes. I am one half your host, Darren Bresnitz. I'm your other half, Greg Bresnitz. That was just San Fermin from their 2013 Snacky Tunes performance. We are going deep into the archives today because there is a dance party in the back of Roberta's, and
but it's for a good cause.
It's for a good cause.
So give the people home a listen. Oh, it's a good time out there. First up, though, we have Emily and Matt Highland of Emmy Squared. Welcome, COO and executive chef, respectively.
Yep.
Co-owners.
Yep.
Yeah. Welcome. How does it feel to be on someone else's pizza turf?
We like coming here. Every time we're on Heritage, we eat at Roberta's after. It's like a tradition.
What do you normally get? Do you have a standby, or do you see what new pizzas they're dishing out?
I actually always get pasta. I think the pasta here is wonderful.
It is wonderful.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
Oh, I guess correct.
Yep.
We went to the
That
board.
is the correct answer. You get a bowl of pasta.
I mean, I
had enough pizza, you know?
Yeah. I would say you probably. How much pizza do you eat?
At least every other day.
Every other day.
At least.
You're born in Brooklyn, right?
Yes.
So you've been eating pizza your entire life?
Correct.
Do you remember the first?
Yes, I do, actually. It was in Bay Ridge. There's a place called Carmine's, which I don't think is there anymore. It was on 86th and around 3rd Avenue.
Just the idea of saying Carmine's in Bay Ridge. Get a slice.
Yeah, it's got those like brown tiles on the floor, brick wall, like an orange booth. Lots of shaky condiment toppings.
I've never been, but I've been.
You've been.
You know
what I
mean?
You know what it is.
Emily, where'd you grow up?
New Jersey.
Okay, so pizza your entire life too?
Yeah, for the most part.
Do you remember your first slice?
I don't remember my first slice, but in high school there was like the slice shop in town called Lenny's. So after basketball practice, we ate there like 3 nights a week.
Lenny's.
Yeah.
Good old Lenny's.
Exactly.
What was yours? What was your first? Do you have a favorite slice?
In the city here?
No, just like in general at Lenny's.
I was just like a classic like round New York style pizza place.
Do you judge places by their cheese slice? Is that your litmus test?
Definitely. You go and you order the margarita or the classic or the cheese, and then from there, if you want to come back and order more toppings.
Yeah, but sometimes I think some of the pizza toppings today have been like, what am I eating? Like, what is this amalgamation on top of this pie? So Matt, when did you start cooking? When did you start getting into food?
When I graduated college, I went straight to culinary school. I had an IT degree, and that wasn't going to happen.
And a creative writing degree.
And a creative writing degree, so I only did creative writing so she could do half my homework.
So he could follow me around to class and hold my hand.
When did you two meet?
I was his RA in sophomore year of college.
Oh,
very nice.
Okay.
Needless to say, I was an RA just for 1 semester.
Okay. When you're like, okay, do I want the man or the job?
Right. Nobody listened to me once they found out we were dating.
Oh, you're like, I'm going to keep drinking in my.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks so much. So you guys, how'd you two meet? I mean, just the RA, and then one
just
day.
the RA, and then.
Well, strangely enough, we were both home on like a Friday night while everybody else was out, and I wound up popping in and saying, "Hi, I'm your new neighbor." It was like the 4th week of the school year or whatever, and then I kid you not, we wound up ordering pizza from the local place and sat on the dorm room floor and ate pizza together.
The story just writes itself.
And that was it.
Story itself.
Did you have a pizza joint in college that you used to go to together? Where'd you order from?
Was it called Checkers?
Classic pizza.
Classic. That's
Classic
right.
pizza, yeah.
Classic pizza?
Yeah, in Bristol, Rhode Island. Classic pizza.
Oh.
Yeah.
Does Rhode Island do a special type of like Rhode Island style pizza?
Yeah, there's a few types. There's like a square type of pizza they do, and they're also well known for a grilled pizza at El Forno restaurant, which is where we had one of our first real dates.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a great restaurant.
So I'm detecting a theme.
Yep, pizza. Mostly pizza.
So you graduate, finish creative writing, IT. You're just not vibing on it, or you're just like.
I did an internship my senior year of IT stuff, and I was like, I don't know if I can do this for a living. And I was always interested in food. Like I'd wanted to go to culinary school, but Emily convinced me to graduate college first.
That's good.
Yeah.
Just have that college degree.
Exactly.
Were you happy to have that college degree when you were in culinary school?
Yeah, definitely. I think I was one of the few people that had one, and it's good to have sort of a business or just a background and like how to like run a business or do something like that.
And when you were opening your first spots, did that really play a role into it? So many people we opened up, we didn't know what we were doing. It was crazy. No one did our books. It was like we were in total tax hell 3 years into where you just felt that you were much more set up and prepared from day one.
No, I don't think so. I think that happened, but on the IT side of it, like setting up routers and internet stuff, I knew how to do that really well. Yeah.
POS worked on day one. We never had to call anybody. It was amazing.
I do fix all the POSs usually.
But you do hate to do it.
I do hate to do it, but I fix all the hardware.
Damn, I wish to rather be there. So you're in culinary school, and then obviously you two share a love of pizza. When does the love? I mean, because what year is this?
I went to culinary school in 2004.
Okay, so pizza was sort of getting into like the real popular. I mean, pizza's always popular, but pizza becoming as like we see pizza now. Like, when did you start thinking like I might want to get into the game, or when did you start thinking like maybe I'm going to just go work at some other restaurants first?
Yeah, I got I was working at just some restaurants as like a line cook, and then around 2011. This pizza place opened near our apartment, and I wanted to like kind of focus on one specialty item, like a pizza or like some sort of dough kind of thing. So I went trailing at different restaurants, and the pizza place had opened like I had no pizza experience, but I had some good restaurant experience, and they were just opening, so I helped them open. And then from that moment, I was like, all right, that's it. I'm only making pizza from here on in.
And do you want to shout them out?
Yeah, it's a Soto Casa. It's on Atlantic and Smith.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's a good place.
And Emily, what were you doing at the time?
I was a high school teacher and instructional coach. I taught English.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Had owning or opening a restaurant ever crossed your mind?
We talked about it. It was always sort of like one of our dreams to do together, that sort of, thing that was off in the distance that might never happen. And then I was really, not happy in the public school system. I worked just the bureaucracy and the nonsense of it is hell. And especially as an English teacher, all of the creativity and the things that make English class what's special were sucked out of my life. And so it was a really prime time for me to be able to, I withdrew from school. I was at Bank Street getting my school building leader license to become a principal. I withdrew, I resigned, and we sort of jumped into the space of doing this. So.
And you had no pizza making experience, so how long did it take for you to get comfortable with it and then make the step to making your own dough where you felt people will want to come and eat my pizza because it tastes different than other people's?
Very quickly. I know this is going to sound weird, but playing lacrosse as a child really helped me learn how to use a pizza oven and a peel, and I know that's really strange.
Can you elaborate?
Yeah, so when you use a wood-fired oven, you have a long pizza peel.
Yeah.
It's like holding a stick that you're very adapt to using when you play lacrosse or something. So it's a really strange sort of training that I had my whole life, and then I walk onto the pizza oven and I could use it within about 2 or 3 days, where most people take about a year to master it.
Wow. So it's just like the stick was an extension of your hand and the peel was an extension.
Yeah, I was like, oh wow, this is really easy for me. And then so after about a year of Soto Casa, we started working on dough for a new project, and then went from there.
So obviously being in a relationship is one thing, but owning
I know where this is going.
Owning a business is another thing. Opening a restaurant is a whole other third thing. So what was that conversation like? I mean, obviously you're partners, you love each other, but what was that decision? What was that conversation? Did you have to set any guidelines or boundaries, or was it just going in?
We tend to be pretty impulsive / instinctual when we make big life decisions, so there wasn't a lot of talk about it. It was as we drove past the little spot where Emily is now, we saw the for rent sign and we're like, that's the place, we're gonna do this. Sat in a cafe, tallied up what the key money might be, called the landlord, had my parents come look the next day, and it was that was it. And we're very fortunate, our skill sets differ and complement each other, so there is that barrier in terms of the work balance, but we have fought really hard over lots of different things, and I'm so grateful that we have the longevity and foundation in our relationship, because otherwise we'd hands down be divorced, I think, from opening Emily. There were lots of tears. So
so the name Pizza Loves Emily?
Yeah.
Is the flip of Emily Loves Pizza, I would imagine. So do you feel that pizza truly loves you?
Well, I'm pizza, so yes.
Right.
Oh, is that your nickname?
No, but...
And Emily Loves Pizza was taken on Gmail. That's just your email address.
But so you have the name, you have the space. What was it like opening up the first place?
Now that we're working on our third location, I actually don't know how, just like Matt and I literally opened that restaurant together. I don't know how the two of us did it, because now we have people that are helping us with everything, but we just sort of, I think it's like what you hear about childbirth, where you go through it and then you have a baby and you forgot about all that other stuff. That's sort of how it feels to me, at least. I don't know how we did it.
It's like a fugue state where you sort of just you're like conscious and you're going through it, and then you come out of it later, and you're like, oh, I have this restaurant.
Like a year later, you're just like, oh,
Yeah.
that happened.
Yep.
Right. I mean, right? Would you disagree? Or?
Yeah, yeah, you kind of forget all the bad parts and then it's like, how does this thing up and running every single day, and orders come in and food goes out for like 3 years it's been happening, so it's amazing. But yeah, you kind of forget about all the bad parts if it's running well and successful.
And then you are stupid enough to do it again and again.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, what was we're gonna just before we take a break? What was one of the we'll go good and bad of the early days? What was one of the best things and one of the worst things?
You can go ahead.
Oh, I don't know. Our permits got delayed a lot. Putting a wood-fired oven in New York City is a very difficult thing. And
probably one of the hardest.
Yeah, and then having, the building department just being like, no. But it's like, look, there's all these wood-fired ovens around. And I guess when it finally got approved, it's like, all right, now it's time to really go and move. And we got it open within probably 2 months of getting the permits approved. So that was nice.
Yeah. I think my best thing is easy. It's all the community members that we have at Emily. Like, the people are awesome. My best friend is this little 7-year-old girl, Quinn, who comes in like once a week with her family. And I think one of the worst days was when we had taken a vacation. We got home, like, put our bags on the ground, get a call from our sous chef. It is raining in the kitchen. The ceiling collapsed. It's like, oh, great.
Okay.
Friday night at 5:30.
Well, on that note, we're going to take a quick musical break, hear something from the archives, and come back, talk about your burger, and then the Detroit-style pizza. We have a track from the Snacky Tunes archive. Surprise us, David.
Juliana Bartwick. One of my favorites.
Never mind. I'm being surprised right now here on heritageradionetwork.org. Welcome back to Snacky Tunes. We have Matt and Emily of Emmy and Emmy Squared talking about pizza. Pizza's been a through line of your entire life.
Let's talk about that burger.
Let's talk about that burger, though.
Speaking of pizza, the burger.
Speaking about that pizza, let's talk about that burger. So you have a burger.
Yeah.
And obviously burgers are, they're still hot, but you limit your burgers to 25.
Yes.
Why?
We have a very small restaurant, and we're built to make unlimited pizza. So we got this really cult following of our burger. At the same time, like New York Magazine and The Infatuation, and a couple other guys just blew up our burger almost immediately, and then we started getting phone calls like, I want 100 burgers to go, because they thought we were Shake Shack. So we were like, all right, let's make this functional so we can have good quality, we keep consistency.
Yeah.
And 25 is just a nice round number.
Do you sell them out all the time?
Yeah, every night.
But on Saturday and Sundays at lunch, we're able to, because of staffing and stuff, do unlimited at lunch. It's a 3-hour service, and we can handle it in that contained sort of place.
Pro tip. You want the burger, you don't want to stress out, go during lunch.
Exactly.
How quickly does it sell out?
Sometimes it's under an hour.
Yeah, last night was like 6:10.
So that was an hour and 10 minutes. And then sometimes, during the week, it can be a little slower, like 9 o'clock.
Okay. So Emily's been open for a minute, right? How long did it open before you start saying, like, let's double down? Let's, like, I remember only the good stuff, and I remember it was super easy to open a restaurant.
I love setting up POS. It's my favorite.
Yeah, I love it.
Hey, honey, we don't need an IT guy. You got me. So what made you decide to open up Emmy Squared, and what did you think you could add to the conversation? Like, what more could you add that you couldn't do within your first restaurant?
Well, I think that square pizza has always been something the two of us have loved. We've always loved to order that. In the old days back in Tribeca, we used to eat a lot of square pizza. And our friend Adam Cuban runs a Margot's Pop-Up, which is his bar pie pop-up out of Emily, and he cooks in pans. And so the marriage of square pizza and cooking in a pan is something that's really inspired us for a long time. And Matt's been fiddling with that since Emily opened. And we had, we've always had folks interested in helping us grow. And so we had some friends that sort of pushed us in that direction. And here we are.
So for those who don't know what Detroit style pizza is, because I will admit, until I saw your Instagram, which my wife can attest to, I obsessively follow, and I go, Anna, like, look at this pizza, and she's like, yes, there, that's very nice. What is Detroit style pizza, and how did you first hear about it, especially being primarily East Coasters your entire life?
So I can maybe talk about the characteristics, and then you can talk about it too. But it's typically cooked in an 8x10 pan that's modeled off of the pans that steelworkers used in Detroit to hold auto parts.
It's so awesome.
Yeah.
so just like blue collar, like, oh.
Right. Yeah. And it has like a super cheesy crust called the Frico crust. It has like a pretty crispy bottom, like a really airy middle, and then the sauce goes into parallel stripes down the length of it.
You know I'm excited.
Yeah, right?
We're coming in tonight. This isn't even a joke. We're coming in tonight. And so what made you want to make that type of pizza? I mean, you get to lay claim that you're New York, Brooklyn's first Detroit-style pizza?
I believe so, yeah.
Come on. A little bit more conviction. Come on.
We are.
Sure. Yeah,
we are. Yeah. So what makes, obviously you've been mastering a certain type of dough and getting popular with that. What made you want to be like, we're making this type of pizza, and we are saying we're not just dedicating, like, Sunday nights, get to Detroit House Pizza, like a whole restaurant dedicated to it?
It's sort of the same way the Emmy Burger evolved, where it's just I put something on the menu because I want to eat some other style. Like, I wanted a burger at the end of the night and things like that. Whereas, like, this was like, all right, well, I want to be able to have square pizza whenever I want to eat it. So I'm just going to open a square pizza restaurant.
Yeah,
that's really how we operate. Like.
And does the dough differ at all? Did you have to come up with a new recipe, or is it the same dough as your other pizzas?
Oh, it's very different. It's a higher hydration. It proofs in a pan overnight, so like it does. It's a little more airy because it's not cooked in a wood-fired oven the way our dough at Emily is. So it is a different process, different ingredients, everything.
Any sports help you prepare for the Detroit style pizza? Or?
Just being, I think, overweight in college was a good preparation for eating a lot of thick pizza. So
that's deep dish Pizza Hut, right?
Yeah.
So being a couple, having 2 restaurants, what is it like? I mean, do you have to just divide and conquer even more? Do you bring more people into the team? Like, how do you two run 2 successful businesses together?
We there's a lot of bouncing around and organically being where one of us is needed to be. It's fortuitous that there's 2 of us who are the owners, so that we're often split, and Matt's at one and I'm at the other, which has happened more and more, I think, as we've grown. And it's been really nice to just sort of evolve our team, I think, naturally. Our director of operations is a woman who started off as a waitress for us a few months into Emily and now runs the show with us. And a lot of the folks who've sort of come up into key roles have moved up in the ranks, which is something we really believe in. So we have a good team of people that are part of that original culture of Pizza Loves Emily and are really valuable friends in our life, quite frankly. So it makes it really easy to trust and work with those folks.
And what can you tease or talk about for future projects?
Well, we're opening in the West Village, a Pizza Loves Emily concept, and we have one of the oldest ovens in the Blue Ribbon Bakery space in the city. So we're really excited to use it. And we'll hopefully be open not too long from now.
Was it there already? Or did you acquire it and bring it into the new location?
It's built into the building.
So is that easy for permitting? Like, it was all done?
Yeah, basically. They think it's grandfathered in.
Yeah, the Blue Ribbon guys think it's from the 1850s.
Wow.
So it's an old oven.
Have you gotten to, I mean, obviously every oven is different. How long does it take for you to learn an oven?
Well, we're going to have to change the dough and things like that, so we have to see what see what works in that temperature oven and things like that.
Because it's just so much hotter?
It'll probably be cooler, actually, than the oven we're using at Emily. We just kind of have to wait and see once we can really get it fired. And
it's 18 feet deep.
Yeah, it is. It's
wow.
Big.
That's like
by 14 feet.
You can like stack
2 basketball hoops.
Couple bodies. What? Sorry.
Yeah, right.
Where'd I go? You didn't like that on Yelp? Why don't you come on special?
Yeah, take a look inside.
I mean, so and I'll ask, like, 3 projects, right?
Yep.
First 2 in Brooklyn, that's sort of like you're running across the street more or less. I mean, it's not, but it's like that. But now you're going to the city. There's not 3 owners. There's not, unless you have like a third, like, partner who you just go, all right, sometimes you are going to have to be here, and you can't be at every restaurant every night. How do you settle that inside you?
Well, our director of operations is amazing, Annie, and so she really is our third musketeer, I think. And we're very fortunate that we live in downtown Brooklyn, so our train proximity to all 3 restaurants is like ideal. So it's easy to bop back and forth between them.
Yeah. So I have to ask about the Instagram, because your Instagram game is A+. Who is it? Who runs it?
I do.
All Matt. Both locations.
How did you... Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. How did you get just so... I mean, I'm telling you, like, again, I can attest to it, that I've been drooling over those photos. Is that part of your creative process?
I just tried to, I guess, use my creative writing background, and
especially for the captions. The captions. I was like, this guy seems like he's at like a bachelor level of English proficiency.
Yeah. And then I tried to think of each restaurant has its own sort of persona.
Sure.
So I tried to make the Instagram feel like each restaurant, where the Emily Instagram shoots out like a lot of little kissy hearts and smiles, and the Emmy Squared one's like high fives and thumbs ups, because it's like
it's like a bro.
Yeah, it's like a bro.
Like a bad boy.
Yeah.
Like a bad boy and a sweetheart, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that's sort of the personas that I try to keep constant with the voice of the accounts.
Well, it's deeply appreciated.
Last question. I've heard the best joke that everyone's favorite pizza spot is 3 blocks from their house. Where's your favorite pizza spot? And is that statement true?
It can be, I guess. What's our favorite pizza spot?
I mean, I feel like my most local spot in my life is Emily Restaurant. So it's my favorite because I eat it all the time.
I live there. I technically live there. I mean, I have a home, but I live there.
Right.
I'd say my favorite pizza place is 3 blocks from Emmy Squared. Best Pizza. I like that place.
Best Pizza's great. Shout out to Best Pizza and Roberta's, because that's where we're sitting. All right. So, and I'd be remiss to say that I heard the decorations at Emmy Squared are all knick-knacks from your childhood.
Both restaurants,
Both
actually.
restaurants.
Yeah.
That's great. So you're like mom, dad, ship everything up from the bedrooms, in the
basically,
attic.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, where can people find you online? Instagram, Facebook, websites?
Make reservations.
We're on Resi, we're on Caviar, and Pizza Loves Emily, and Emmy Squared Pizza on Instagram.
Awesome. Fantastic. Oh, what's your favorite holiday to serve for like delivery pizza? Like Super Bowl, New Year's? What do you guys love?
New Year's Day. Everyone is
New Year's Day is
hung
great.
over and wants their carbs.
That's a good day.
Yeah.
That's a big day.
Yeah,
It's a big. You're just like putting in that seed money for number 3, number 4, number 5. Like, here we go. Everybody go and have a big night. Well, thank you so much. Excited to come in tonight with the wife and the bro and the friends.
Cool.
We're gonna carb load. Carb load for the week. We're gonna take another quick musical break from the archives.
Leave the Planet, and then we have San Fermin 2013 performance and interview here on Snacky Tunes
on heritageradionetwork.org.
Hi, I'm Dave Arnold, the host of Cooking Issues on the Heritage Radio Network. We all know and love Chinese takeout dishes like General Tso's chicken and egg rolls, but here's the thing. Even though we call it Chinese food, it's not like the food you'd find in China. What's the story behind this cuisine, and how did it become so popular that you can find a Chinese-American restaurant in nearly every town in the country? The answers may surprise you. Visit the Museum of Food and Drink in Brooklyn and see our newest exhibition, Chow, Making the Chinese-American Restaurant. Chow engages visitors with compelling accounts of how Chinese immigrants overcame racism and created Chinese-American cuisine. Discover the science behind the flavors of your favorite takeout dishes, feast on rotating tastings developed by the country's most talented Chinese-American chefs, and try your hand at writing your own fortune, which will be baked into actual cookies by a 1,500-pound fortune cookie machine. What better way to learn, connect, and eat? You can visit Chow at the Museum of Food and Drink on Fridays through Sundays from noon to 6. Tickets and more information can be found at mofad.org.
All right, welcome back to Snacky Tunes. We have San Fermin in here, all 5 of you, but you guys are kind of rolling a little light today. Do you want to go around the room and introduce yourselves?
Sure. I'm Alan.
I'm Ellis.
Ray.
I'm Eliza.
I'm Tyler.
Okay, great. Well, it's nice to meet you guys. I saw you all play at Glasslands a few weeks ago. I was pretty blown away. Pretty amazing. But let's start with Ellis, because this is pretty much your... Maybe I'll swing that mic towards him a little bit. Yeah, that guy right there. This is pretty much, your baby to begin with, to say the least. So do you want to give a little history on, how the record came to be, or how you chose to write this in like a beautiful, what sounds like epic setting?
Yeah. It was actually right when I graduated from college. I had this idea to write this album, sort of as a single piece. And I had actually, right before I graduated, I had done a concert with my band and then with a bunch of chamber music that I had written. And the chamber music was the first half and the band was the second half. And I was, sort of the process of putting that all together, I realized that I could make those worlds come together in a way that felt really natural for me. So I went to Canada and I stayed in a cabin in Banff, which is in Alberta, in the mountains.
Beautiful.
And yeah, super beautiful. And I guess I was there for 2 months, and I planned the record out on the way there, and I wrote it, all sort of in MIDI format. And I knew that I'd be writing for Alan, because he's always been the guy that I work with vocals, and a friend from since we were 14 or 15. But then, once I came back, it was a process of putting the band together and sort of recording it step by step. I mean, I would bring in sax one day, and maybe like 3 weeks later I'd bring in trumpet. It was just a do-it-yourself kind of thing.
And at what point does it go from a solo man's adventure in the wilderness of Canada to a group project where like we couldn't possibly do it with anything less than this? When does it switch over to that?
I really feel like it switched honestly when I started working with Alan, like right as soon as I got back, because he just has we've always collaborated, and I wanted to get the first section of this thing written by myself, but once I started working with showing him the songs, it really became much more of a back and forth. I don't know, Alan, if you have something to speak to on that.
Yeah, even while Ellis was in Canada, he would occasionally send me a song and some lyrics to mull over and just sort of to have someone to bounce it off of. I don't think there was a whole lot of human contact in Canada, which was good for the record. I don't know what kind of effect it had on Ellis. But, yeah, and we just continued to work on it and sort of grew that way.
And how much of it's interesting because how much of it was a collaboration, or how much influence did you have on it, or was it mostly your vision? There maybe a couple tweaks on some words or lyrics or notes once in practice.
Well, it was interesting because one of the reasons I wrote this record was that we had been in bands before where we actually would split songwriting duties, and he actually wrote a song for the band that we had before this band.
What was it? Call Your History.
It was called The Marians, and the song was called Wires, and it was this song, and he had written it, but he actually forgot his capo when he came to show me, so he played it really low and sang it really low, and it was like, oh my god, we're moving you down a fifth, like you're only singing low, So honestly, like, he was in my head the whole time that I was working on this, so I think I tried to anticipate a lot of the things that he actually would do with it as I was writing. But there's a ton of things. Once we came back, there was a lot of changing where the words were and lyrical substitutions, and we changed some melodies, right?
Yeah. I think on the album, because the male and female leads are so much characters in this story, that it was important that all the lyrics sort of fit comfortably, and it didn't feel like it was being jammed in there or anything like that. Yeah, I mean, that was mainly what we worked on.
And how did the rest of you get involved?
Well, so Ray, actually, I should start with Eliza, because Eliza, she plays violin and does backup vocals with us, and she went to Yale with me, and we were in like a million theory classes together.
Yeah, Ellis and I were both music majors at Yale, so he just knew me from that, and when he was starting to get people together to do this project, and the band was going to have its first performance, he asked me if I would be interested in being involved, just because I do both sort of classical singing and classical violin, and since, as you know, this sort of genre crossover with this music, he wanted to have people, I think, coming from that background as well.
And Eliza's got a great band called Plume Giant as well, and I knew that she had a lot of experience playing, on a stage, indie and folk music. So that's how she got involved, and then actually Eliza got Ray involved.
Yeah, Ray was someone I knew from my other musical stuff, so I suggested her to Ellis when Ellis was looking for a female lead, and it's obviously worked out pretty well.
And then Tyler, actually, I took some guitar classes while in my last year at NYU, and I picked randomly out of a list, and I picked out Tyler. And to be honest with you, we didn't get a whole lot done. We would usually get in there and play guitar for about 10 minutes and then talk about gear for the rest of the hour. But yeah, when we were looking for a guitar player, he was just really solid, and I knew he gigged a lot, and it's been great.
He got a C-, but
why don't we get the song going? What's the first one you're gonna play?
Oh, darling.
Yeah, the song's called Oh Darling.
Is gone to sea. Leave your lonely here with me. When you're awful low, abide with me.
Fancy
It doesn't sound very good to have one person clap. It actually sounds like more condescending, I think, but that was great. That was really, really good. So let's talk about the themes on the record. Where does the inspiration come from, and how did you structure something, and including that you knew that you were performing it in arrangements versus like some of your older, more traditional rock bands?
So I knew that I wanted to have this structured a little bit as a dialogue between a male and a female character. I mean, one of the interesting things about not singing, like I do, is that you can divorce yourself a little bit from both of the characters and have a little bit of a space there. So, like, I sort of split a lot of the things that I was thinking of into two, like, really different viewpoints. The male character is a little more grandiose, maybe a little bit goofy, a little hopeful, very, like, he's looking for something really important in his life. And the female character sort of, she emerged from a lot of the cynicism that I have about that. And so it sort of started... She often will sort of directly respond to the male character, and the course of the record. It's about this back and forth. There's a lot of talk about there's a lot of suspicion around romantic love, and a lot of like sort of trying to work your way through these issues, and there's also a lot of nostalgia.
Is that personal, or is that pulling from?
It's pulling from a lot of things. I mean, I think the
so personal.
No, it's really like a mixture. I was reading a lot of books up there, and that helps. Also, when you're in a space like that, where you don't have anyone really that you're spending time with except for yourself, any little emotion you're feeling gets sort of expanded to fill that space. So being just out of school, a lot of my friends were making very important decisions with what they were going to do with the rest of their lives, and I think that was certainly personal. That kind of the suspicion and scaredness and all that stuff that I had about that was definitely.
So the record comes out September 17th.
Yes.
Downtown, which is one of the best record labels out there. How did you end up connecting with Downtown for this record?
Actually, it was kind of funny. So some of the early stuff I showed my girlfriend. Obviously, she made me. And her roommate had a friend who was interning at Downtown, and some of the songs got passed along, and Josh Deutsch, who runs Downtown, showed up at our first show, which was at Pianos in the Lower East Side, and came up to us right afterward and really loved it. It was awesome. We had, you think this is a big group. The first time we got on stage, I think we had like 13 people on the stage of Pianos, which is actually shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah, I was gonna say, even thinking 8 on that stage is kind of pushing it.
Oh yeah, we're stripped down now, but it was 12 or 13 people, and he came up after, and the crowd was really supportive. Lots of friends, obviously, but
they had us play Sunzig twice.
Yeah, they asked for an encore at the end, and it was just it was an amazing experience. And then Josh was sort of right there, and Downtown has been awesome the whole way, really supportive.
And how are you taking 8 people on the road for the first time?
I think we're each taking a separate car.
8 cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're definitely comfortable
with each other.
Yeah. And I think we're getting a big van, right?
We'll have a big van. We've performed enough shows where we're shoulder to shoulder that like being in a car shoulder to shoulder will be just fine, I think.
Yeah.
And what cities are you guys hitting?
We're doing. It's going to be. A lot of big metropolitan areas. We're doing all the big cities on the East Coast. We're doing Milwaukee, which is Ray's home.
Is that where you're from? Yeah.
Yeah.
Homecoming.
Yeah.
And we're then we're going to hit all the cities on. We're doing San Diego, LA, up the West Coast, all the way to Vancouver, and then eventually to Iceland, and then hopefully after that to
You
England.
pointed that way. Iceland's the other way. Airport's that way. That's amazing. And then playing here September 20th at LPR, which is a perfect setting for you guys. Just a beautiful, beautiful venue, and I think will lend greatly. I want to make sure we have time for one more song, but if you want to give people the nuts and bolts where they can find you, how they can follow you, pre-order the record. I'm sure it's available now, and I saw congratulations streaming on NPR today as well, which is amazing. So congrats to that.
Yeah, so that stream just went up. You can stream it on NPR. It comes out next Tuesday. I think you can pre-order it on Amazon, and then obviously Twitter, Facebook, all of the
San Fermin Band. Look us up on Twitter.
Awesome. So what are you gonna take us out with?
This song is called Methuselah. and this one's got acoustic guitar. It's the only song in our set that has acoustic guitar.
Gotcha. Well, everyone, thanks for listening. Thanks to our guests from Feast Portland. This will actually be our last Monday episode for Snacky Tunes. After 4 years, we'll be moving to Sundays because we just can't swing leaving work anymore. So thanks for everyone listening and for everyone coming by. But we will be back next Sunday with a whole new episode. Take us out.
1, 2. Go. 1, 2, 3.
Pass a message to you and your lover. Like a dirty bouquet with your wine. I'll tie to my body some roses. I will fly till I get you alive. Are you thinking of me now, Methuselah? I'm a passenger. I go along. Have you found a place that's deeper than the corners of your mind? To settle down. Myself, I see lions. Lying golden on beaches of white. I see men with their boats in the weather. Carry me as I drift in the night. I don't think of you, and I'm missing you. Are you thinking of me now, Methuselah? I'm a passenger. I go along. Have you found a place that's deeper than the corners of your mind? To settle. Think of you when I'm missing you. Are you thinking of me now, Methuselah? I'm a passenger. I go. Have you found a place that's deeper than the corners of your mind? Are you thinking of me now, Methuselah? I'm a passenger. I go along. Have you found a place that's deeper than the corners of your mind? Settle down.
We talk about food, we talk about music with musical dudes. Finger on the pulse, Snacky Tunes.
Thanks for listening to Heritage Radio Network, food radio supported by you. For our freshest content and to hear about exclusive events, subscribe to our newsletter. Enter your email at the bottom of our website, heritageradionetwork.org. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at heritage_radio. Heritage Radio Network is a nonprofit organization driving conversations to make the world a better, fairer, more delicious place. And we couldn't do it without support from listeners like you. Want to be a part of the food world's most innovative community? Rate the shows you like, tell your friends, and please join our community by becoming a member. Just click on the beating heart at the top right of our homepage. Thanks for listening.